Hello everyone and welcome to Clarity 16.1.3 Feature Supportability Training. I am Vib Mehrotra, and as part of this section we will be talking about the API to manage links. As part of this release 16.1.3 we are introducing a new public API that will allow the customers to manage the URLs within the links module of Modern UX. Clarity has provided the capability to manage links as a module within investments as well as within the central menu. Customers have long asked an automated way to manage the URLs within that links module, such as if they wanted the third-party application URL to be automatically created in a new project, then they wanted those APIs to be able to automatically create those links. So as part of this release, we are introducing the public API that will allow the customers to manage links within the investment module, specifically the project, idea, and custom investment type. They can also manage the menu links, which can be accessed by going into the menus and then going to the links within the menu itself, which will then display all the menu links to them. And then finally, the task link module, which is newly introduced, where the customers can define links within the task itself. The methods that we support are get, patch, put, delete, and post. The new link API is available under the endpoint links. A describe call can be made to the links endpoint, which will give the detailed payload syntax to the end user. The following are supported, which is you can read links for a specific object instance. For example, you can read all the links defined within a specific project, or you can read the links within a category in that links module, which means within that category of that links module, just get me all the URLs that are defined. You can create a new link, you can update an existing link, or you can delete an existing link. In terms of the fields that are supported in this payload, you'll have the internal ID, which is the type number, the last updated date, created date, instance ID, which is the ID of the parent where the specific link is created, and object code is the code of the object itself. For example, the project will have the code of project, idea will have the code of idea, and your custom investment type will have the code which is the object defined code, such as CIT underscore my object, as an example. The name is the name of your URL itself. The investment type category is the category within the links module, which is the name of the category within the links module, and the category ID is the 5 million number of your category within that links module. And then URL is your actual URL that you would be creating, and sequence is the location within that links module and within that category where that link is specified. If you do not specify a category, then the URL will be created under the general section. Here are some sample get calls. You can do a describe to the links endpoint and you would get their detailed payload. You can get a list of all the object codes that are defined in the system by making a call to links with the fields of object code, and it'll give you a list of all the object codes that are out there. You can do a call to get all the links within a specific project by just specifying the links endpoint and then specifying the instance ID, which is the 5 million number of your project, and the object code as project. If you want to get all the links within a specific category under that project, then you would add the following filter, which is the instance ID, which is your project 5 million number, object code as project, and then category is the 5 million number of your category ID within that object instance or project instance. You can read a specific link value, which is just links followed by the actual 5 million number of your link ID. And you can then specify if you wanted to read specific attributes only rather than all the attributes. To do some create, update, and delete calls, here are some examples. If you wanted to create a new link inside of your specific object, then you would have to specify a post call to the link endpoint, and you would then essentially give the name of your URL, the instance ID, which is the 5 million number of your parent where you're creating that specific link. You would create the specify the object type. If I was to, for example, create a link within the project, then I would list the object code as my project and then the URL itself that I would like to use. The creating of a link within a specific category is the same, but in this case now I would specify my category ID as the 5 million number within the category itself. If I want to update an existing link, I would use the patch call, and the patch call specifying the specific link ID, and then in my the body I would specify what I want to update, the name. I would have to specify the instance ID and object code, as well as then I can specify my updated URL or updated sequence. And to finally delete a specific link, I would make a delete call to the links and then specifying the 5 million number of my link ID. Certain things to be aware of in regards to the table updates. If you were looking at the actual table behind the scenes for any reporting purpose, then you should be aware of the following. In 16.1.2 release, we updated the value for INV investments to project within the PR link table. And then starting 16.1.3, we will have the following columns in the PR link table to find a specific object instance and its link. The PR table name will hold the name of the object where the link is created. Values for this table will be as follows: project for a project object, idea for the idea object, the code for your specific CIT, the menu for the central menu links, and then task for the task links. There will be a column for category name, which will have the name of the category within that links module, and the category underscore ID will hold the 5 million number of that category within that links module. And then last is the sequence, which should be the sequence number for that specific URL within that category. All right, with that, let's see the product in action. So in this case, I am going to go into Postman, and in this case I've already pre-created my endpoints for links that I would want to use for my demo purpose. Let's also look at a specific project within my Clarity 16.1.3. So I'm using my Able project, and in that I am going straight to the links module, and I can see that there are two categories that are already created, and there are several links inside that inside those different categories. All right, so let's look at how the URL will work. For demo purpose, what I've done is I have created all these different URLs, and I've specified variables that I would like to use. Right, so I've specified my URL and then certain variables with the 5 million numbers populated, so that I don't have to keep repeating, retyping each time. All right, so let's look at the endpoint to get my, if I want to do a describe to understand what the payload for links is, this would be my endpoint right here for my server itself. And when I make that call, I get the detailed payload with all the different methods that we support and all the attributes that we support, all listed right here in detail. Okay. Next, let's get all the different object codes that are available. So in case if I wasn't sure of all the different object codes, I can make a endpoint call to links, and I can say just give me only the fields, which is the object code. And in this case, I've specified the limit of 500 because I could have quite a few objects created. You can definitely use a much smaller number to get your limit. So when I make that call and I get all the object codes, I can see that I have different multiple CITs, which is my custom investment type. So CLR underscore strategy is a custom investment type, and products is another one, and epics, and so on. So I can get a full list of all my object codes that I could use to pull the URLs from the links module. Next, let's make a call to a specific project to get all the links inside of it. So in this case, as you can see, my endpoint, I'm doing a filter to give me the instance ID, which is my specific project. So I'm passing a 5 million number for the project that we're looking at, and object code is project. So when I make that call, I would get all my different links that are defined. I can get the name of the link, the internal 5 million number, and then obviously the object code. So I can see all the different links. These would match the same links that are defined, or URLs that are defined inside of my links module. All right. But in case if I wanted to only read the links or the URLs that are defined inside a specific category. So let's say I want to read all of the URLs or links within my project specific category, then I can do that by making the call as follows. So I can make a call to my specific project instance, which is again passing the 5 million number. Object code is project, and then I can pass my specific category ID, and that should give me my 4 values only that are inside of my project, the specific project links category. Right, so count 4, and I can see these are the 4 specific ones that are defined. If I wanted to make a call to read all the links inside my just the general links menu, then I can do that by making a call saying give me all the links within the object code menu, and this will give me quite a few of them. There are about 19 of those created, and we can quickly look at it. What I'm referring to is that within my menu, right here, I have the menu links. If I go in here, there are about 19 links that are already defined under the different categories, and that's the one I just read. All right, let's go back to my specific project, and let's continue on to reading some more information. If I wanted to read the specific link and specific values for that link, I can do so by making a call with the endpoint of links and its 5 million number, and then ask only for a specific value or specific attributes, and then I get that. So I'm for my specific one called Broadcom. This is the URL that is defined for it, and this is the category ID, and this is the category name. So those are the specific values I asked for along with the sequence number, and I got just those values. If I wanted to read all of them, I don't have to then specify any field, just make a call to that endpoint of link ID, and then it gives me all the values that are available to me. All right, next let's create a new link. So what I want to do is I'm going to go right here. I'm going to make a call to links. I'm going to put a post call, and in my body I have to specify the name of my link. I'm going to call it my Broadcom. Instance ID is the 5 million number of my project. Object code is project, and then the URL is just going to be the Broadcom URL. All right. When I make that call, the call is successful. It gives me the actual link URL that is created. And if I go in here, you see right now there is no my project, but if I just do a quick refresh, I would see that my Broadcom would be created right here. So there is my Broadcom created under the general category because I did not specify a category ID or a location where I wanted this to be created. If I continue, let's maybe create a new link. In this case, I'm going to call it Broadcom Portal, a new link that I want to create within the same project. But in this case, the URL is going to be portal.broadcom.com, and I want it created under a specific category, which is the project links category that I have. All right. So once I have specified all of that, when I run that, it gets created. Let's go back into Clarity. So you can see under here there is no Broadcom Portal. I am going to refresh this, and Broadcom Portal link has been created with the URL of portal.broadcom.com. Okay, let's take this URL and I'm going to save this for the future updates. So I'm going to go back here. I'm going to save that value. And let's make one more call, which is in case if I wanted to create a URL in the middle of all the existing URLs. So let's look at it again. So I've so far created a URL without specifying a category and created it at the end of general. When I specified creating a new URL within a new category, it created that URL at the end of that list. But in case if I wanted to create one in the middle here somewhere, I can do that by specifying the sequence number. So let's look at that example, which is again making a call to links. I'm going to call it link position number 3, my project ID, my specific URL, and I'm going to specify the sequence number. So under this category, the sequence number 3. So let's make that call. And now if I go back in here, if I do a quick refresh, you would see that the new link position number 3 is created on the 3rd position right here. All right. And then the last one, or the next one that I wanted to do was I wanted to update the new ID. This is the ID for one of my URL that I was creating. I am going to update that to call it my Broadcom number 2, and I'm going to change the URL to just support.broadcom.com. Right, so it's an existing one. I'm just making a patch call to it. Right, that is. Let's go look at it. So I've changed my second one that I made a call to. Let's go refresh that page, and you can see that it is now changed to my Broadcom, my Broadcom.com number 2 right here. Right, so I've changed that, and the URL is changed to support.broadcom.com. All right, and the last one is to just delete it, which is a simple delete call, specifying that new URL, no body required. When I make that my Broadcom 2 should be deleted. Let's do that refresh, and you can see now that is gone from my links page. That concludes this section. Thank you, everyone.